This is an abandoned Japanese house, or it was, before they bought it for an unbelievably low price.
This house we bought for...
When a house back home costs $1 million or more, the idea of buying and restoring an old Japanese house becomes incredibly appealing. So I've packed up my family in a tiny rental car, driven all the way across Japan, and set up camp on the beach down the street, just so I can learn what it's like to buy and restore an abandoned Japanese house from people who have actually done it. I'm out here on Omishima Island in Japan. The beaches are covered in white sand, the water is clear, and the views are endless. But more than just epic scenery has brought me here. I'm here to meet some people who've not only bought an abandoned Japanese home, they are also well on their way to restoring it to its former glory. Just leaving the campsite now. Had a quick swim in the ocean, felt great. And I'm on my way to meet Evan and Dani Benton right now. We're gonna check out their Akiya that they've bought and they're restoring, and we're gonna hope to a little bit more about the process. Welcome to the home of Evan and Dani Benton, aka Benton Homestead. I've seen a lot of talk online about people buying up cheap abandoned houses in the Japanese countryside. But these are the first people I've met that are actually doing it. I mean, look at this place. It's big, it's old, it's beautiful. Let's go check it out.
Let's go inside.
Yeah.
The house is 70 years old. It was built in 1953, so 7 years exactly. We purchased it from the son of the former owner.
I was really excited to see the house and how the project was coming, but also really curious to hear their story.
Yeah, we had a really good thing going in Louisiana. We had a combination of my photography business, our Airbnb, and then starting our small homestead. And so we really just wanted to sort of take what we had learned from our experience building that urban farm and just sort of the way everything worked together and do it in a new location.
Yeah.
I never intended to have a pink kitchen. So many of these old houses have the pink and the blue tiles. And we are going for like a nostalgic, Natsukashi style Showa era feel for the house. So we decided to not only keep the pink, but to echo the color on the ceiling and sort of make that part of our color palette in here.
Logistically, we sold our house in Louisiana, so we ended up with a decent nest egg, but it still wasn't enough to really do anything in the United States or Mexico even. Here, we're able to buy 2 houses, and we're basically being given farmland. Old closet that we're going to convert into a entertainment console. Going to have some vintage video game systems in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and they are redoing the plaster in there, so that looks pretty cool. The rest of these walls are going to be like that as well.
Yeah,
Sounds like character.
I love the curve and the way that...
Yeah, very organic feeling.
So this is the engawa, which was traditionally sort of a interior exterior space. Original hardwood floors, which are beautiful. This beam going the entire front of the house is really nice. And this is a different sort of implementation of the shitui plaster, which is actually like a, I don't know, paper or sawdust or something they put in here. It's actually kind of falling apart. We're gonna have to redo that eventually, but.
All the doors do slide open and they fit in that little pocket at the end of the hallway. This last door, the glass must have broke, and it's been replaced with a metal door.
And a big question on my mind, how are you allowed to legally live in Japan?
Basically, you're starting a business here. In our case, it's a farm and a guest house business, and so we had to put together a business plan, which we thought would be a relatively straightforward process, but we ended up hiring a lawyer and hiring a business consultant, and now we've hired an accountant. We have a whole team of professionals working with us to put together this business plan and make it viable and keep us on track.
I guess the best way to say it is we knew it was going to be a lot more complicated, but it's even more complicated than we thought. Not to say that it's not worth it, but it's been a process. So this has a story behind it, and going through all of the decorations of the house and trying to keep as much as we can. Evan and I debated about whether to keep this. He thought it was a little too funky, and I kind of liked it, and so we're just keeping it for now. And it was funny because the man who sold us the house is the old owner's son. We grew up here. He's now in his 70s, and he walked in and the first thing he said was, "Hey, I made that."
I love that.
Well, this is the upstairs bedroom. It's sort of the crown jewel of the house, in my opinion. It's the only room that we've replaced the tatami for. So we replaced the tatami in this room, and we're just keeping it covered with a mat. This is an 8-mat room.
8-mat.
And I didn't realize that the mats are not interchangeable. So each one, he said, has a name, each mat, and for any reason, we need to put them back in the exact same order. So these window screens were actually storm windows. They were solid wood. And the tategu man, which is the door and window man, he took the wood off and replaced it with these screens.
These are designed to be easily replaceable, easy to maintain. So this piece of wood lifts up and then comes out. And then you could also lift the glass up and out as well. We're going to work on restoring these windows and just repairing anything that needs fixed.
I've heard a lot about cheap houses in Japan, but how much does a house like this actually cost?
Yeah, so this house we bought for 1 million yen, which is approximately, at that time, 7,500 US. If you include the realtor fees and various other fees, comes to 9,000 US.
Wow. So in terms of renovation, we are paying our contractor 2.5 million yen, which works out to something like 17,000 US dollars for basically the bare minimum to get this house to a rentable condition.
Okay.
And moving forward, I mean, basically we expect to pour a lot of money back into the house. That the income that we get from guests, we really want to do our best to restore this just immaculately.
I'm pretty sure besides the Western style bed, we're going to be able to furnish almost the entire house with what we've found in this house and the house that we're going to buy. And that's just with like the vintage cool furniture items, like really cool stuff.
What's our vintage video game budget? Because that's a tax write-off.
Yeah, that business expense.
Yeah, and that really gives me like a sense of duty to just do a really great job remodeling this house so that my idea is that people are going to come here and they're going to love the house. They're going to be inspired by the house, and they're going to think, yes, this is a sort of the lifestyle I want for me and my family.
And then they can pick any number of hundreds of other available houses.
Yeah, seriously.
That are, they're eventually they're gonna lose the battle with time. So you gotta get in here and save the historic houses.
Yeah, very cool. Are you fighting a good fight?
Yeah.
As my time with Dani and Evan wound down, I wondered if they had any advice for someone who's looking to buy a home in Japan.
But I think the reality of the, million plus abandoned houses in Japan is that most of them are not free. So you don't listen to the internet about that. But they're available and they are affordable, and most of them are not listed online. So I think the best thing to do is really find a location that maybe has a couple online listings that you like, but then go there, talk to people, walk around, and you'll find your place that way.
Dani and Evan Benton really inspired me with their story. A lot of people talk about doing big things, but much fewer actually do. Taking on a massive project like this in a foreign country, overcoming all the bureaucracy necessary just to live here, and then going all in financially, that takes guts. But more than just a house, they're building a life that is far from routine. A life where every morning presents a new surprise or a new challenge to overcome. A life full of learning and enriching experiences, but also a life of giving back to this community that's welcomed them in. That, to me, that's a life worth living. Be sure to check out Benton Homestead's YouTube channel and give them a subscribe. I've added a link to the description below.